Welcome to the Basement Sports Network postgame show. The Miami Dolphins lost to the Kansas City Chiefs 21-14, a game in which the Miami Dolphins defense only gives up 14 points to the Kansas City Chiefs offense. Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce holding them to one of their worst games of the season. I am Kai Chisholm. Joining me is Juan Cardona. Juan, I'm going to start with a question and then just bring it up because I think it should be brought up. Running back that play, looking at it, the miss to Cedric Wilson, it seems like that might have been a miscommunication. I think maybe that, Tua was expecting a corner route. Cedric ran essentially a bomb and beat the absolute bejeebus out of his man. I think if they're on the same page there, that's either going to be a first down on that corner or that's going to be a touchdown to Cedric. On that last play, I don't know. I don't think that there's anything but you look at the snapback. It's a horrible snap to the right. But at the end of the day, you got to think Tua still got to catch it. How are you feeling?
I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. That was probably the worst version of the game that I could probably envision in my head. There are so many allegations that not only did we not beat them, they are full on inflamed right now, bro. Maybe not the noodle arm one, right? I'm obviously being facetious with that one, but the doesn't read the defense and throws the spots. It's loud. Um, the not showing up in big time games. It's loud. Um, and dog, the defense gave up 14 points. Bradley Chubb played with his fucking head on fire, bro. We blanketed Travis Kelce. Travis Kelce was a non-factor in this game, bro. And the offense just shit their pants, bro. Like, like it. I really, I don't know what it is about it, but Tua, when it's do or die and it's on him, if it's not a bottom feeder defense, it's just not. It's just not working, bro. And and I just don't know how far we can really get once we start to play good teams because this was just atrocious, dog. The offense was just nowhere to be seen. The run game started to flash when realistically they were thinking we were gonna pass, and here we are, bro, just questioning life all over again. And I just think there was no worst possible outcome for the game.
We got Kendall joining us. Kendall, your thoughts?
On the game overall, it's disappointing. Shout out to the defense. Shout out to Vic Fangio. He is turning this thing around. I think those two games against the Giants and Panthers did wonders for him. They got him in the groove. They're getting a little healthier. Hopefully that holds up. But to Juan's point, against these good teams, dog, when it comes to this offense, I don't know what it is. It seems like if we can start out a game like Reek happy and just feeding Tyreek Hill, shit just ain't flowing and it ain't going how you would think a number one offense, quote unquote, would go in the NFL. And today, it really hit the fan because it's bro, 0 points and a half is insane. I don't care how you get to that, but just to not score. I don't care if fluky shit happened or weird things, bro. We didn't score a point. Tyreek Hill put points on the board for his old team. So I guess shout out to him for that. He did score a touchdown today. And then, second half, it's the defense held. They held. I was just waiting for the defense to break, and props to them for not. And then the worst part is what I'm saying, I gotta go there because it's just appropriate finally, in this sense. Tua, bro, they put when McDaniel put the ball in his hands to go win it, bro, he literally shit his pants, dog. Shit his pants. Those two run plays on I thought PJ Walker was like this magician because he went 0-6 on the game and drive against San Fran. Like McDaniel was on his way because I thought we was just gonna run that ball down the field. And when he decided to put that ball into his hands, it was like bad throw after bad throw, and then ball right through his hands. Like it's not a contender. Like we're not a contender. Like is Miami football year over year, same story. It's just how you get to that conclusion. It tends to just be different, like steps in between.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not I don't know. I think I talked a lot in recent weeks about kind of like the litmus test and how I said that the Eagles and the Chiefs are litmus test. In my book, they failed the Eagles one, and by definition of a loss, they failed the Chiefs one. I want to pose a question, and I'll start with you, Juan, because I think that there can be I think there can be like a 50-50 split of like really bad and really good to come out of this game, despite the fact, I think the good can include the fact that we have the bye week upcoming. So I want to ask, in terms of the team in the first half and the team in the second half, do you think that the way that the defense, and at least getting back into this game and making it a game, making it a chance to do that, and really, I mean, they held Patrick Mahomes and this Chiefs offense to one of their worst games, off the jump. Like I mentioned, they only had 14 scored points. Of course, that weird phantom touchdown on that fumble play, which I think, a lot of people are blaming Tyreek, but I think that's just a weird play call by Mike McDaniel in general there. I just, how do you feel in that first half to second half? What do you think we can see from this team? Do you think that going forward, whether it's against big teams or just in general, that we're going to see more of the team we saw in the first half, or more of the team that we saw in the second half?
I'm gonna be real with you. You're trying to differentiate it by halves. I don't even know what the difference is, bro.
Just in terms of the first half, second half offenses, putting up points, that type of situation.
But like 7 points, like that's what we're talking about.
They put up 14 points in the second half.
Okay.
And gave up 0 on defense.
Because that's like my thing, right? Like I just don't, like 14 points isn't winning you a game, right? And I just don't know how far we can go with who we have at hand. Like we'll beat teams that we're supposed to. We might give them a challenge to teams that are better than us, but when shit's toughest, I don't think we got the team to pull through. I think we're a finesse team, one, um, and we realistically just can't bully people like on either sides of the ball, right? I think defensively we're getting it together, and see, I'm trying not to overreact. I'm really not trying to like go crazy on tour right now, but like this was in front of all the hoes
I don't know if
for
you
the
mind,
number one seed.
really quick. I don't think that you're, I bring it up all the time because I always like to point out that I think I'm the most middle person that we have here, but I don't think it's wrong to say, one, it's a tie game if you are on the same page with your wide receiver there. Like, whether it was that he saw something and apparently he just said in the press conference it was a miscommunication between him and Cedric. If they're on the same page there, that's 6. I mean, Cedric beat the shit out of his man. And that's 6, and that's a tie game, and we're probably in overtime right now. Especially the way the defense was playing, or there's a chance for the Dolphins to get the ball back, and then that bad, like the snap was a little bit bad from Connor Williams, but Tua at the end of the day has to catch that. I don't think it's crazy for you to be upset to want to blame Tua
Nah, but
because those two
so
are
like in my heart, what I want to say right now is that we are the Kansas City Chiefs in 2017, and we have Alex Smith at quarterback. Like that's what my heart wants me to scream out right now, because that's what I feel like. I feel like we are, um, we have the pieces to be great, to elite when everything's working well, but when shit hits the fan and teams start to take things away from us, we don't know how to respond. And it's unrealistic of me to say we need to start going out and looking for our Mahomes, but we are limited as far as what we can do with Tua, I feel like.
Kendall?
What was the question again, bro?
Just like the main thing was about kind of the difference. Did you think that this team is more the team you saw in the first or the team you saw in the second? And I mean, we're obviously harping on negatives. I think we should definitely get into positives after this, because there was, in my opinion, a lot of positives to take away from it. But in your opinion, do you think that this team is more of a team you saw in the second half, where it's a competition between two top teams in the AFC, or the first half, a team in the AFC beating the fuck out of a bottom dweller in the AFC?
I think it's funny. I think that because you say the team of two halves, I think I could use that. I could use that, but for the Chiefs, bro, like, because they're proven commodity. I think the Chiefs are more of the team in the first half, like that. You know what I'm saying, that could come out and they could put up a touchdown real quick. Well, score 2 touchdowns and then their defense make us play, but they're still trying to get themselves together. Us, I don't believe that we're a two team. I just think that it's a big game against a very good team, above 500, an elite team, and it's just like they're not gonna show up. Like the Dolphins ain't gonna show up to play. That's something that's consistent with this team. So I would say we are the first half team. If I had to pick one to answer the question, they're not, bro. We show up to games and it's like in our first 15 scripted, we getting like either a delay a game, a false start, or we call timeouts. And then we got big plays where it's 2nd and 16, and then for some reason Mike taking Tyreek Hill and Jaylen Waddle off the field, leading to a sack, and it's just like, bro, like what are we doing? The Dolphins aren't the type of team for me that you could say that we could split them up. They're just the Dolphins, and it's just like they can only, like, to Juan's point, like how we win. It does, I think, kind of play into the quarterback like a lot. It seems like we can only win one way, for the most part, and it's gonna be us just picking on the bottom feeders, or like the teams who are just not up to code like with us offensively, or don't have a good defense that's good enough to like trouble Tyreek Hill early on in games. And because if you could do that, like you have a very good chance against the Dolphins. Like, but man, like they just laid a fucking egg, bro. Like that was literally worse. It's just, I feel like it's just progressively getting worse for like the offense. Buffalo, it was like boom, boom. Like we hit them twice. They hit us twice. We hit them back twice. Against Philly, it was none of that. It was just like right before the half we scored. And then here in this game, it was just flat, like pretty much the whole game until the second half, our second possession, when we finally scored. And I don't know what can change. And I just think like the Dolphins, they gonna win one game. They gonna win games one way, and it's just like the offense being prolific. Like if it's a defensive struggle, the defense might battle for a little bit, but at some point they're most likely to break. And then if you're gonna need the offense to make a play, and if they do make it, and you're gonna lead and you turn and you look, hey, now to it's your turn, or offense is your turn to take us there, they're not gonna deliver. They're not gonna deliver the good.
Yeah, I mean, for what it's worth, Tua is, at the podium, and again, I know especially for all of us, it's not really anything, but again, for what it's worth, he's owning up on the last 2 plays of the game, and it's undeniable. Again, like I think YouTube, everyone, but I know you two specifically get tired of how I can kind of phrase things sometimes. But I think that there's no denying that those 2 plays were on Tua. I mean, even with the bad snap by Connor, it's when you watch the play back and back and back, bad snap or not, he's got to catch that. So as it currently stands, and I'm just going to briefly mention this before trying to get into the good. So the Dolphins will go on bye next week. We won't see them again until November 19th. So literally 14 days from today, where they'll be at home against the Las Vegas Raiders. It's a 1 p.m. start. And then the following week, they'll have the first ever Black Friday game against the New York Jets in New York. And then against Washington on the 3rd, Tennessee on Monday night at home on the 11th, and then New York again on the 17th of December on a Sunday before they have arguably their toughest 3-game stretch of the season, which is Dallas, Baltimore, and Buffalo, with 2 of those being at home. Really quickly before getting into the good, they got a 5-game stretch there. I mean, New York's defense is for real. The Jets. I don't think anyone can sit here and deny that. But they have a 5-game stretch there where they can try to put the season back on track. And if you guys remember, it's a little bit similar to last year where they had a similar stretch where they had a 5-game stretch that they could put the season back on track, and then they had a crucial stretch of games that they ended up losing 5 in a row in. Kendall, I'll start with you here first. Do you think that the Dolphins are going to try to get their game or their team back on track with these 5 games? And in those 5, what do you think their record could stand? Kendall.
Let me look at the schedule.
So they got Vegas, New York, Washington, Tennessee, and then New York. 2 away games and 3 at home.
Okay, so I definitely think that they'll be Vegas. That New York game is gonna be a loss, man. I hate to say it. Washington, I'll say they win. Tennessee, I'll say they win. You said the next 5, right?
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm kind of on the same page with you about that first New York game. I think they lose in East Rutherford, but I think they come back and they beat them again at home. I think they.
Yeah, I'll go 4-1. I'll say 4-1. But I'm like my expectation. They have to go 5-0. Like if they don't, it's a disappointment.
Yeah, no, of course. Juan.
There should be absolutely no reason we're not 11-3 playing the Cowboys. That's the Cowboys game is at Dallas or over here?
It's here on December 24th.
Yeah, right, there should be no reason why we're not 11-3.
Anything else but that? Let's say that they're 10-4. How do you feel going into that game?
I'm upset. We're squarely in between being a good team that beats everybody and an elite team that can play versus everybody. We're in between those right now. If you start to lose games that you're supposed to win, that means you're regressing. That means that you peaked in September and October. That means that there is a bigger issue here at hand.
Yeah. I mean, they just I got it. I don't know. There's nothing I think that can describe I think the disappointment that we all feel. Like even on like the Eagles game, I think it was a little bit of topsy-turvy from everybody. But I think this one is one where I think we all firmly knew in that fourth quarter, it was like the Dolphins have a chance to take this game. Like the Dolphins absolutely have a chance to take this game. And they didn't take their opportunity. They just didn't take their opportunity. They didn't strike when the iron was hot, but they had some good. And I want to talk about that because I think that it is something that we definitely need to highlight. And I'll start with you, Juan. We talked about it a little bit, but the defense. I mean, they were getting crucified. And hey, you, Kendall, everybody was saying, look, this is a fraudulent defense. Vic Fangio needs to go back to the old home. Kind of like that Chan Gailey threw away his notes and came back. They've had now 2 really good back-to-back weeks. And I mean, even the Eagles game, you could argue like they had a pretty good game despite
they've been balling.
Despite some issues. I mean, he's got Bradley Chubb looking like the guy that the Dolphins paid. He's got everybody playing really, really well. I mean, Cater Kohu had a huge third down play today. How do you feel like going into? I don't want to even talk about that stretch of 5 as much as any given Sunday. Do you think that this defense can keep it up leading into the Cowboys game on the 24th?
I think honestly, if we're looking big picture, the defense is trending up and the offense is trending down. And somehow we are looking more like an average team more and more because honestly, that Denver game is looking more and more like a one off, and I just don't see where we're gonna be able to get this offensive production that we've had in the past. I feel like everybody is either shell shocked that teams have adjusted and we have not, or we just live and die with the run game. Like early on in the game, we had no run game and we had no offense. Run game started to get going, and all of a sudden, here's our offense. So I think I think McDaniel's gonna have to figure out what the adjustment is. I personally could not tell you what it is right now because again, at some point, Tua has to be, responding here and making the adjustment. But I think the defense itself it's getting it's starting to hit its stride. JP is getting home. Bradley Chubb is what 3 fumbles in 4 games. He has what 5 sacks in 3 games, like some shit like that. So Bradley Chubb is earning his money. Jalen Ramsey didn't hear his name at all. That's a good thing for cornerbacks. And listen, Javon Holland's life is a lot easier now versus week 1 when he's having to, play everywhere and having to guard everybody when now he has Jalen and X out there.
Kendall?
In terms of the defense, I think they can keep it up. Because like Juan said, I think Chubb and Phillips, and Ramsey, like those three they changed the defense. I would say Chubb is just playing how you would expect $1 million player to play, that you fucking gave up a first round pick for. Jalen Phillips is healthy, so it's like, okay, that's good. And he's looking like a dog out there, like running people down, taking on 2-3 at the line and still getting pressure. But it just sucks because, like you said, it's trending down for offense. And I see a lot of, about the run game, and I see people mentioning how much Achane is missed. It's like, bro, like I get like Achane's a good player, but if we miss Devon Achane this much, like, were we that good to begin with, like running the ball? Like, and what I don't like is it feels like when we run the ball good, for the most part, it feels like it's like the smoke and mirrors thing. And it's like a lot of Houdini shit. Like, we just not able to line up and just say, we about to run this bitch, and like you can't stop it. And that sucks. And then Tua, like I'm concerned because it's just like when Tyreek Hill is just not like when he's not able to get 16 and 15 and have 3 catches on a drive for 47 yards to start a game, it's like we start that deer in the headlight shit. Like not for just Tua, but just for the offense per se. So it's like they need to do something. Because I don't like where they're headed.
Do you think this is a perfect time for the bye week? Like just in terms of how it's like, okay.
No, I actually think it's the worst one. Like these
Why?
boys, because the answers aren't going to come off the field. Like you're not going back and saying, "Oh my God, epiphany! Tyreek could just run this same route and just turn his left hip, and all of a sudden the offense." No, nah. Like the answers is gonna come on the field, and these boys got to get on the field to get this shit done, because football is a sport where like you're really practicing like 95% of the time, and then you're playing a game for 5%. And unfortunately, the only one we care about is the game, bro. And right now, look in losses, our offense 17 points per game. In wins, 39 points per game. That's insane to me, bro. Like that doesn't compute to me. Like, why is there such a big gap there of literally almost what 22 points, like 3 touchdown differences?
Yeah, man, those contenders, bro. Like, and then that's who we losing against. Like teams that were like probably all top 5 and like Super Bowl odds coming in. That's the real issue for me. It's like and it's not like it's just like a fall off. It's like it's slowly happening. Like because how our schedule is just lined up is like we're playing the Bills week 3, and then we play Eagles week 6, and now we playing them week 9. Is this week 9? Yeah, I think it's week 9. So week 9 we playing or week 10 or whatever it is, we playing the Chiefs, and it's just like slowly. Every time we run into one, like our flow is just disrupted and it's ugly out there. So, and it happened last year, but it was just a clunk of good teams like at one time. So it's like I just want to know, like, I don't know how a bye week can really help, because at the end of the day, they not playing nobody.
Dude, watching that playback, that last play, I mean,
Which one, the
dude.
throw or the fumble?
No, the throw, I think clear. I mean, I'm still gonna give him blame because it's still his fault. I'm not, whether it's often, whether it's a miscommunication or not. I mean, clearly, I think that throw is supposed to be a corner, but you got to read that. If Cedric beats the shit out of his man, you got to unload that shit. The snap, man, it's just if he catches that, it's literally catch, ball in hand, back. You have Jaylen Waddle wide open down the middle of the field going for a touchdown. Not even. I mean, you could fuck that up, and he's still going in for a touchdown.
Bro, there was like
just
5 throws that he was like 6 inches from being a touchdown throw, and it's like,
man,
it's like you're telling me keyhole accuracy, but like I need it in these games, dog. And like,
And
nah, cause like I again, I don't want to just wail on the guy, but it's like we're talking about patterns, and it's like this Tua is the Tua from him playing versus Clemson. Like this is the same exact kid. Like, slow start, defense has to save him, and then he kind of picks it up at the end to make it a close game. But like, am I an asshole for pointing that out as a pattern? I don't know, dog. I'm
no, I think like there's a lot of people. I really don't. I mean, it's Twitter.
yeah, exactly.
But like, I think in times like this, and I'll still stand on it. I've told you guys that I still think that question around if we have a quarterback or not. I still think that question's dead. I'm not gonna lie to you. I still think that's a moot point. But there's no way if you're gonna praise a guy when he's doing well, and if you're gonna be happy when things are going the way you want, and you can sit there and say he did this good, that good, this good, and that good. When he himself is going on a podium, whether it's all speak or you got to be a leader, whatever people want to describe it, if he himself is going out there and saying those last 2 plays are my fault, it's his fault. He knows it. You know it. Juan knows it. Kendall knows it. Everybody knows it because it's. I mean, we all have fucking eyes. You could have glasses. You could be blind as a bat and know that shit was his fault. Like whether the question on if he's a franchise quarterback or not, I still think is not really there anymore. But
he is.
it's
But
simple
like,
as day, bro.
how much
This
are we
loss is
paying
on him.
But how much are we paying him though? Because that's the thing. Like I was on our group, I was on our chat, like our basement chat, and I said it. That drive and the one right before where we had to punt. I'm like, these are the drives where Bro can earn himself 50 million. What?
No, where he earns his money.
Yeah,
right.
Like you could literally end up being a $40-50 million quarterback off just those 2 drives, and it's like, well, he didn't. And the only time we were moving the ball was Mostert, getting chunk plays, and then Tua with a little slant here and a little out route to Waddle here. But like, there was no big boy throws, is my point. Like, and that's the thing. Like, late in the game, all the circumstances, like, fuck everything that's happened, and we let the defense down, dog. Like, I'm sitting here upset because the defense gave up 7 on the first drive, and then for an
His shit cut out. But he was about to make a great point. I just want to pull this up. Like, there's no, I don't. What part of that is him making an excuse? I don't think he's making an excuse. He literally said that it's on me. Like, I don't know what the excuse is there. Like, he said himself it's his fault.
He could easily be a Tyler Van Dyke and just be moot and just mope his shoulders, but he doesn't do that. Huh?
That still
No,
hurts.
no,
Huh?
no, 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 no. I never believed in him from fucking March. So I've been saying fuck him for a long time. So and that's the difference. He's a bitch. Tyler's a bitch. And like and Tua's just like, you know what I'm saying? Tua, I think I don't look at Tua's not a leader to me. I think he is just he's a good person and like he's real enough to like accept responsibility and you know what I'm saying. But my thing with him is just like, you know, y'all say he's a franchise guy, and it's just like, why I can't say he's not, like, why he's not to me is just like, kind of to Juan's point, when things going, no matter what was going before this, that, but it's just like, when you see him play, you see the nervousness, you see like the uneasiness, like you see him getting like knocked off his like rocker, and it's just like, it's not just like,
Oh yeah, brother. But public perception, he's the best thing since Marino, and that to me says absolutely nothing. But to some, it means the absolute world to some, bro. And unfortunately,
yeah,
I've already said it. That contract's already written up. All that's being determined is how much is going to be at the bottom line.
oh
And
no, for sure.
yeah, we're just here dealing with it.
I'm not denying the fact that they're gonna re-sign him. But it's just like I can't put you in a franchise. I can say he's a placeholder, much like Ryan Tannehill is to me, in my opinion. Like we just gonna have to get
He's
to
our Alex Smith, dog. He's our Alex Smith.
yeah. Shit's gonna have to just go so. I wouldn't say so bad, but things are just not gonna have to be accomplished while he's here, which I think will happen because I just don't think that type of shit just happens for guys at that level of like play. Like, cause Kirk Cousins can't catch a break. Like fucking Jared Goff hasn't caught a break and he made a Super Bowl. It's like one and dones every once in a while in history, and it's like, oh, the Joe Flacco's and Eli had a couple. But Eli, you know, would turn up in big games, even though he would be subpar in others. Like nowadays, these quarterbacks, a superstar is going to win the Super Bowl year in and year out. Like, and then it's like for Tua, every time you go on that field and you face top tier quarterbacks, bro, you walk away a loser for the most part. The only win you got was, you know what I'm saying, a week 2 and a week 3 win against Lamar and Josh Allen. But outside of that, it's like, bro, like, I just need to have a game where you just go and you just handle up, bro. Like, and he just doesn't handle up. Like, and he, most of the time, he gets smoked, like, by the opposition and the guys like that we comparing him to. But like you say, to the fans, it's gonna be good enough because you know Marino is right there, and shit would been ugly for us for years, and the offense humming. So against bottom feeders, so it's like it'll get us 10 wins a season, 10 or 11.
I mean, I still think that this team has a possibility to go 12-5. I mean, I also predicted that, so that's kind of what I hope. But I still think that opportunity is there. I mean, you pick away those 5 wins, you're sitting at 11-3. You just got to get one of those last 3, which I definitely think, with all things considered, and obviously with the disappointment, and all of us feel it because again, like, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think all of us here are sitting here thinking that shit got away from the Dolphins and they easily could have won that. I mean, am I wrong? Right? Anyone have anything on that or no?
I agree. I think they could have won the game. I think they should have won the game. I'm not gonna hold you.
No, yeah, that's why I'm like,
Yeah, I think McDaniel trusted Tua a little too much, and it came back to bite him at the end.
I think he should have kept with the run. After you have those 2 run plays and you have them on edge, run, play action, you should have kept them a little bit on there to keep that going because it was working and they just, they went away from it. Moving on to, I guess, the future here so we can wrap this up a little bit. They have a bye week, an ability to get a little bit more healthy. You get Achane back against the Raiders, which obviously everyone's talked about. How do you think, Juan, this sits for the Dolphins in terms of a good or bad by mindset? Not just about, you mentioned it when I asked about the bye week. Is it good? Is it bad for it to come now? Just in terms of mindset. Do you think that this shit is going to hurt the Dolphins more sitting there and festering with a loss like this? Or do you think that it'll do them a little bit better in mindset to be able to kind of reset?
Oh no, I think the Raiders will absolutely be destroyed. It needs to be like to the Denver Broncos level of just like we're gonna just beat the brakes off you. Like we're pissed. We did not like how we looked in Germany, and we're gonna come out here and just mollywop you. Anything short of that, I am truly, honestly telling you, it is a disappointment because the Raiders are absolutely in shambles. They have Antonio Pierce as a head coach. They have started their rookie quarterback. And anything like remotely even a close game, and it's just looking worse and worse for McDaniel and Tua and all them boys.
Kendall?
What was the question again?
Just, do you think that this is going to be, from a mental point of view, bad or good for the Dolphins to kind of have this week going into these 5 games where they should, go 5-0?
Oh yeah, I think they'll be all right. Because we play in the Raiders like coming off of that bye, and it's at the crib I think too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's at home. And then Marcus Peters is over there, and we have Tyreek Hill, who owns Marcus Peters. But that's another guy. I think we got to talk about, bro. Like Tyreek Hill, fam,
had a rough game.
Yeah,
Man.
he needs to shut the fuck up the rest of the year.
Yeah, bro. Like, bro, you had a 2-year, lap, like where Kansas City just let you chit chat. They let you chit chat, and in that, bro, like they proved they didn't need you. They don't need you, bro. Like you great.
They want
You
a ring,
great.
bro. They have moved on and are well past you, dog. No one's feeling any sort of resentment or things that they shouldn't have traded. Like they are fine with everything how it happened, dog. You're the only one still upset about it.
Bro, like most times, rarely ever do we get to say like, oh, both teams won. Like this is a situation where both teams won, but Kansas City smoked it at the end of the day. Like we got an A for the trade, they got an A plus 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 plus. Bro, for a fucking pick that they got to score more points than you and fucking McDuffie, like bro stripped you, dog.
That
Like
script, that NFL script is wild, bro.
Bro, like he was the first round pick that they got for you, and he took your cookies, and them boys put up 6
Snatched his cookies, bro, like he was a kid.
And this man
you guys
was
think
all
that should have been called dead?
No,
nah.
Real question.
Nah. You
I
know
a lot
what?
of people were.
I would argue that when we tackled Buddy the first time, that should have been called dead before the Tyreek one. Like I don't think the lateral should have been allowed.
Oh yeah, no, I don't. I think that should.
So
have been.
I felt like that one was more egregious than the first one.
That he looked like he was held up, a little bit. But at the same time, I'm not surprised because he had his arms out already, and it was just like he was gonna pitch that bitch. But Tyreek Hill, bro, I just saw like quotes, that it said like, 12 for 250, and it's just like, bro, like he was talking so crazy, like as if like that's not a top 3 defense like in this league, bro, like right now. And that's what they are.
He just needs to shut up.
He just gotta shut up, bro. Like because one, he lied on him, like talking about something he wanted the AJ Brown deal when he got traded before AJ Brown even got traded. He said that on the Shannon Sharp, so it's just like, bro, he just went on and on and on, like, and they never did. The only thing they did to disrespect you, bro, was let Isaiah Pacheco wear the number 10. That I'll say was fucked up. Like I don't think
that was the very next year too. I think.
Yeah, like right off bat, they said, but that's like
off season.
Huh?
No, that it was the same off season, like same off
season.
season.
Yeah, same off season. But I think that was their way of saying, like, yeah, you're great, but like we them. You know what I'm saying?
Bro, we gave that number up to an undrafted free agent.
Right.
Oh, 7th. My bad. 7th.
It's like Tyreek, you gotta put it on ice, bro. Because even for him in the big games, I don't hear Tyreek Hill going. Has Tyreek Hill got 100 yards against in any of our 3 losses? I don't think so.
I'll fact check that for you right now. Eagles, he got 88. And the Bills, he got
You didn't get 100.
58. So 12 short of 100 against the Eagles.
Yeah, bro. Like you got to pipe down, man.
Well, okay, but like, see, this is actually a great point because I've always said Tua was the MVP going into this, and you guys would always argue Tyreek. But even in the games that Tua struggled, we see Tyreek not even crack 100, bro. Like, is this? I feel like it's the funnel, bro. Like, the ball comes from Tua. It's Tua that held them back. And yeah, no, today he had like two drops. I feel like he normally would get. But even then, like, we weren't really targeting him like we normally do.
No, they definitely weren't. And I think like there was just a lot of random shit that happened this game where it was like, this is not like, it was a lot of unexpected in my personal opinion. I don't think any of us expected it to be as egregious as some of it was. And look, no, it's good to bring up, and we'll end it on that. Like, it's good to bring up the fact that, look, man, at the end of the day, and I'll be one to admit, you guys know I shit on Jaylen Waddle a lot for dropping the ball. Jaylen Waddle wasn't dropping the ball today, and as a matter of fact, if that goddamn snap was caught, he has a 30+ yard touchdown on a 4th and 10 to tie the game up, where he's wide open. So at the end of the day, Tyreek, he's had some drop touchdowns. He had the fumbled, I think, one against the Eagles where it was a clear, touchdown. He fumbled and didn't catch it. I think it's time for him to just kind of buckle down, keep shut for a little bit, and then we go from there. Anyone got some final thoughts? And no, I'm not going to cut anybody off. I'm asking legitimately.
My final thoughts. Hey, Dolphins fan, y'all got to make them boys show you something before we just keep talking crazy.
Juan?
Yeah, it's same old Dolphins.
All right. So for myself, Kendall, Juan, Basement Sports Network, thank you guys for watching. Hopefully we'll see you in 2 weeks with something better.